Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Angelo. I'm here in my, what I like to call my bitchin' kitchen. It's bitchin' hot in here, hotter than the depths of Hades today, because earlier on today, after I got up, having the AC running all night, because we're in the middle of a heat wave right now in Portland, Oregon, in the Willamette Valley, and we've also got some forest fires coming up from the south and the east. I left the AC off, and I was like, man, it's really getting hot in here. I realized I didn't have the fan or the AC on in the other room, in my room, so right now, over in the kitchen, it was getting hot. I was starting to sweat, and I'm like, man, what's going on? So I checked on the AC, and I turned it back on, and now things are starting to cool a little, but since I'm far away from the AC unit in the other room, it's still a little hot. That said, what a better time to make a organic herbal tea blend than right now. I'll let that stuff steep. I just got a brand new glass and copper Beka French press. I don't drink coffee, but I've got a French press so that I can have herbs made into tea. Before I was using this thing, which was a nice design, but it's plastic. I don't really endorse plastics. I do still use plastics in a capacity, but the ingenuity is nice in the sense that it has like a bottom where if you push in, out comes the water all over the floor. But yeah, it's a gravity drawn tea maker. So I'm going to make some tea right now, and I'm going to go over some of my favorite herbs and ingredients in which I make tea with. So first run in this new French press, I've washed it out really good with some organic soap and give it a good once through with the rinse, and this thing is ready. So I'm going to start with some of my favorite herbs. One of my favorite herbs that I just got turned on to most recently is Gynostema. I believe that's how you say it. It could be Gynostema. I say Gynostema. I've tried this before. I was at Joshua Tree at Music and Sky Festival last year, the first time I found out about this from a little van that was selling teas. They had this amazing little organic van, and they had this in one of their blends. And Gynostema is a Chinese herb, has a great sweet and rich flavor, very earthy. And I'll show you what it looks like up close. So look at that. And this stuff ain't cheap, and it's not easy to find, but being a herbalist and a tea geek, and I'm not really so much into tea as in the Camellia style of tea, actual real, what you think of as tea, like black tea or green tea. I'm about making basically what these are, technically, are herbal decoctions, where I'm, using warm water and letting it steep. I don't like to overheat the tea too long, because then it starts to break down the cells and oxidizes the tea itself. So I usually use about 170 degree tea water, and then just let it sit for a while and get as much out of that tea as I can and get a real strong batch. So started with the Gynostema. That's a great base, or key ingredient rather. And over here, I'm not going to use this, but I love yerba mate. Yerba mate is a tea I like to drink from the mate gourd with the bembija, which is this little filter straw. A nice communal tea to share with your friends and family. I like to use white willow bark. This stuff is amazing. White willow is a very nice bark that's a nice replacement for taking stuff like Advil, acetaminophen, or those chemical, pharmaceutical, over-the-counter pain relievers. This is good for blood flow, good for vasodilation in the brain, and so I like to use that. And one of my favorites, I did a big tea haul recently, and I made a post about that on my Instagram, but I went and got some Tulsi. Tulsi is the base of my 5D tea, which I feature about 50 different herbs and some berries and some other things, some roots. But Tulsi has an amazing flavor. There's many different kinds of Tulsi. Tulsi grows. I've actually harvested some when I was down in Colombia. Tulsi is also known as holy basil. It has some great anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, and antibacterial effects. It's very potent and very, very flavorful. Sweet, spicy, like basil, but not quite as piquant as basil, more on the sweet side. There's different kinds of Tulsi holy basil. This one is a Krishna blend, so I'm going to put that in here, and I'm just showing you some of these herbs as they make it. And with my 5D tea, this is a big constituent in that tea. And I do sell those, but I don't promote it too much because it's a lot of work. It's a labor of love. A little bit of ashwagandha. I like to put ashwagandha. It's a great adaptogen herb. It's the root of the ashwagandha. It's actually a nightshade. This little white powder. It looks like an off-white, creamy colored powder. I put that in there. I like to use a little bit of marshmallow root. Marshmallow root is good for the central nervous system. It's good for digestion, and it's also good for immune support. I looked at it for a while. It's very close to ashwagandha, but this one definitely has a lot more of a funk to it, and it's cooling, it's drying, and it's got antifungal properties to it too. Even though I do love mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms especially, I do put a little bit of organic basil, regular basil in there. Basil is great for cooking. It's great for everything. Not too much because you don't want the whole tea to taste like basil, or you do. Whatever, it's good stuff. I mix and match, dibble and dabble. I've got some astragalus root. Astragalus root is great for the gut, great for immune support. Astragalus root is one of the most important herbs or roots that you've probably never heard of. Great for the immune system and great for the stomach. And you know, most of the immunity in your body comes from your stomach. So if you're eating a lot of acidic foods, candy, sugar, coffee, things that make your body acidic and less than alkaline, you're going to have problems with your mind, with your immunity, and all kinds of things. So this almost has like a peanut buttery, nutty flavor to it. I love it. It smells great. It doesn't kick as hard as peanut butter. Whenever you put peanuts in anything, it tends to turn everything to peanuts. So that's not the case with this. One of my favorites that I've been using for years is a dried legume called rooibos. Maybe you've heard of it, red bush rooibos from South Africa, a close cousin to honeybush. And this stuff is beautiful. It's got this great reddish hue from when it oxidizes from a green plant to this beautiful rusty red color. And it's sweet. It's great for it's high in electrolytes. I love that about it. So I mix that with a little Himalayan pink salt, and you've got yourself some great electrolytes in your tea or in your drink, or however you want to take it. You can just eat it straight up. It's probably not as pleasant, but I love it either way. And what I'm going to add as well now is some mugwort. Now this is one you want to be careful about because not all people love mugwort. My friend Julie is not a fan of this because it does create lucid dreams in lots of us. It's for deep sleep. It is a powerful plant medicine for some people, and it does affect your dream cycle. So be careful with this one. Oregon harvested mugwort grows along the river in central Willamette Valley. Put some of that in there, not too much, but it's nice. It's cooling as well, kind of almost like a mint, like peppermint, but not quite as bold in that minty cooling flavor as mint. And it's not a mint, it kind of has that property flavor. Skullcap, another one I love. Skullcap is soothing, relaxing, calming. Skullcap is used for all kinds of things. It's a adaptogen herb. It's good for your adrenals. It's one of my other key ingredients that I put in my 5D tea. Now this is going to be a very bold flavored tea. I'm making a big one today. So let's get the water started here. I'm going to set the water to about 170. It's already hot as heck here in the kitchen. So we're going to make ourselves the 5D tea, or a version of it today, which I love very much. And in this bag here, hold on to this for a while, I've got some elderflowers. Elderflowers are great immune support. So if you're worried about your immune system, I think the first thing to do is focus on herbs and foods that support your immunity rather than going in for the Band-Aid injection. Go in with this right here, elderflower. And I also love elderberries. You got to be careful with elderberries though from the same plant, because elderberries, if you eat them raw, they can cause diarrhea and even vomiting and digestive issues. I've eaten a couple elderberries before. They're hard and they kind of just go right through. But I've got some elderberries here too. This is one of the ingredients I love putting in my 5D tea. So these little berries are little hard little berries, but we let them steep in the warm water, hot to warm water, they turn it a beautiful ruby color. That and the rooibos together. I'm dropping these little tiny berries in there. So I'll put some in there. A little bit of those go a long way with flavor. They're sweet, they're bitter, they're tart, they're piquant, they're nice. I love Asiac tea. Asiac tea is actually a tea blend. It's named after Reen Case, spelled backwards. Her last name is Caisse. Backwards is Asiac. So Asiac is a blend that was developed by this herbalist, naturopath, and healer named, well, it wasn't developed by her. She popularized it in the Western world in the 20th century. Reen Case found this herbal remedy from an Ojibwe healer elder, and it consists of turkey rhubarb, burdock root, sorrel, and a sheep sorrel, and a few other herbs. There's some great books about Asiac I would recommend for you, or just Google it, look it up, look up Asiac tea. It's amazing. So I put a little bit of that just to make sure we're covering all the bases with immune support. And I make my little baggies of all different kinds of blends going on in here. And let's see, a couple other non-negotiables that I like to throw into my tea is passion flower. Passion flower is one of my favorite calming herbs. It won't put you to sleep, but it definitely won't keep you up and keep you all giddy. Passion flower is great, also known as passiflora. It's a beautiful flower. You see, it looks like a Dr. Seuss kind of design. It has like a spiral ring with different colors, purple, yellow. It's beautiful. It's blooming about this time in late summer. Find yourself some passion flower. We'll put a little bit more in there because you can't really seem to overdo it with that. It's good for before you go to bed or if you're winding down towards the end of the day. And right now we're about 6:30 in the evening here in the summer. So I got that. What else are we going to put in this wonderful tea? There's the elderflower. We've got what is this one here? The passion flower. Yes, it is. We've got some red raspberry leaf. I love red raspberry leaf. This is very good for women as well. Women who are having any sort of menstrual issues, cramping, anybody with cramps in general, but especially with women who are having menstrual issues or PMS or anything like that. From what I've learned about red raspberry leaf, it's great, and it's very cheap because, you know, raspberries grow like crazy. They're kind of like a weed growing everywhere. So I put red raspberry leaf in there, kind of a similar consistency and texture as mugwort. They're like almost like insulation of that kind of texture. So that's cool. And what else are we gonna put in this thing? All the things about up. I like to use red clover herb. Red clover is another thing I use generously within my teas. Red clover herb leaf. It's the flower, it's the herb, it's everything all in one leaf. Throw that in there. I'll put a little extra of that. And other things I like to use is oat straw. Oat straw is in the sativa family. It is not psychoactive to my knowledge, but it does help people who are going through withdrawals from benzodiazepines or any kind of other stimulants. And more Asiac here. And nettle is a great thing for preventative health when you have seasonal allergies maybe. And I believe that seasonal allergies are a result of inflammation in the body. Once I started to heal the inflammation in my gut biome, I stopped having seasonal allergies in the spring. So seasonal allergies, different types of allergies, I'm a strong believer that they can be healed through the right herbs. Nettle's a great one. Wildflower honey is another one too, but I love nettle. I'm sure you guys have heard of nettle. Put that in there. And I've used the skull cap, I've got the nettle, the passion flower, the tulsi, holy basil, the passion flower, I said, elderflower, rooibos, the nettle. What else are we going to put? I like to put, you can put valerian root in there, but that's powerful, knock you out. I put some elderflowers. One of my favorite berries, and these don't come cheap, but they're great, and they're very flavorful. They're very tart, even more tart and more expensive and harder to find than elderberries is Shashandra berries. Doesn't take much. It's a small little handful. That's not even a small handful. That's a big handful for this little French press, 32 ounces that I'm going to make of this 5D tea blend. It's on a smaller scale though. I don't add all the accoutrements. I do like to, I put some mugwort in here, some astragalus root, some basil, as well as the holy basil. I've got, here we go, oat straw. This is one I love to put in the 5D. All the 5D blends that I make have oat straw. Like I said before, this is good for anxiety, calming, just like the passion flower and the skullcap. This is great for anyone who's trying to get off of prescription medications for anxiety. Maybe SSRIs too, I'm not sure about that. I'm not a doctor, I only play one on YouTube. But anyways, dandelion root. Dandelion root is great to help with spike proteins. If any of you out there have gotten the V, you probably want to be taking dandelion root and probably fennel. Those are great prebiotics, as well as they help with spike proteins. And if you don't want to have like clotting in the blood, smooth digestion, that extra production of bile in the liver, kidney, and gallbladder to help you digest, that's the thing to do. Dandelion's an amazing superfood. A lot of people see it as a weed and they spray like Roundup on it. No, no bueno. Dandelion is a superfood. You can eat the entire plant from the flower to the leaf to the root, and it has great medicinal properties. Beware though, if you have any kind of like stones or predilection to stones, don't take dandelion or any other bile-producing root herbs, because it can create more of an issue. You want to cleanse your body before you do any of that. Ginger root. Ginger is an amazing superfood. I love to add ginger with turmeric and black pepper. When you add the black pepper, there's a ginger right there. I know you guys know what ginger is. Everybody's seen ginger. It's a pretty common American herb. Most people use it. They use it in kombucha a lot. It's great. Ginger and lemon are a great combination. I love I pre-blend my heirloom turmeric with black pepper, because when you add, I've said this many times, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, when you add black pepper and turmeric together, the piperine alkaloid in black pepper, not the same as hot peppers. Hot peppers are a different family of foods. Hot peppers are nightshades. Black peppers are the seeds or the fruits of this plant that produces an alkaloid called piperine. When you add piperine to turmeric, turmeric has a compound called curcumin, and curcumin makes black pepper, the piperine alkaloid in black pepper, increases the bioavailability of your gut and blood to uptake the curcumin by up to 2,000% more. So always take black pepper with turmeric or curcumin, because your body otherwise will just pass a lot of it right through. So I always add black pepper organic. Everything I'm using here is organic or wild forage. I don't mess around with anything that's conventionally grown or sprayed or monocropped or anything like that. So I highly recommend you do the same. Otherwise, you could be defeating the purpose of being healthy in the first place, or trying to be healthy in the first place. I love to add other things like hibiscus flower. It's good and high in vitamin C. Vitamin C is good to take in small amounts throughout the day. You should be taking vitamin C in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night in small doses. Most people think vitamin C comes from oranges, because, you know, Minute Maid, Coca-Cola, same company, they were promoting vitamin C in oranges. Oranges does have a fair amount of vitamin C, but actually most cruciferous vegetables like cabbage and broccoli have more vitamin C than oranges. And rose hips and hibiscus are very high in vitamin C. Hibiscus is also a good thing to take as a preventative measure against like the common cold or something like that. Now, there's no cure-all for anything, but I've noticed that taking these herbs on a regular basis and eating organic foods, doing intermittent fasting, sleeping, meditation, cold showers, the whole gamut of health pillars has helped me to not so much as have a sniffle for the last 6 years. So I feel very grateful. And over the last 2 years, since I started doing my 30-day ultimate lifestyle transformation cleanse, which I've talked about before, I have had no seasonal allergies. So here is my big old cup here. I've got the hibiscus. I'm going to put some rose hips in there, probably some oat straw. I've got the turmeric, the black pepper, the tulsi holy basil. I've got the organic American basil. I've got the root of burdock, the root of ginger, the root of turmeric, the root of astragalus, and many, many other things. I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper in there just to make that turmeric's getting that curcumin released in the most bioavailable. You got the shishanda berries, the elderberries, the elderflowers, the mugwort, passion flower, skullcap. I've got all this in here, rooibos. I've repeated a lot of this because I know some of you popping in and off. But that's it for now. I'm gonna start with this. And red raspberry leaf, very good for women. And nettle. And I'm gonna pour this it's at about 160 degrees right now. I don't want to go too hot with it. I don't like making tea with super hot water because it just blows up the cellular structure of the herbs and the fruits that I use in this. Put my water in, and I'm going to run this a few times. I always like to run it a few times and then cool a bunch of it, and then moving forward, I have a plethora, as they say, or a plethora of herbs tea to go. So there's no caffeine in this. This is just herbs or herbs, however you want to say it. Here it is. I'm going to drop this down a little bit further so you can see what I'm doing here. And this is my bitchin' kitchen with my herbs all haphazardly strewn about. So I'll let that sit and kind of slowly push all these herbs in. As you can see, it's turning dark really quick, mostly because of the elderberries, probably the most, giving off the most color, but there's also rooibos in here. There's shishanda berry and hibiscus. Did not put any rose hips in this, but I've been drinking a lot of rose water lately, so I think I'm okay on that front. Right now is the season to get the roses. It's the city of roses here in Portland, Oregon, so I'm loving it. Da-da-da-da-da, baby. So this is great. Let those herbs float around in here. And I'm super grateful to have this. Some maize balls, y'all. It's already probably ready to go, but I'm going to let this thing, probably could have left it up for a minute till it steeped more, but there it is. Look at this tea. And I do make the Rhizome 5D tea where I add a lot of other stuff, including I like to add cannabis flower, homegrown cannabis flower in there. Maybe I'll throw one in right now, just because I grew some cannabis here, air dried. Put a little cannabis in there. Took off a little flower. Flies going up. Oh, there goes my cannabis plant. Some a little bit of cannabis flower, and this is, we'll just say it's non-psychoactive for the people that think it's unlawful or bad. This is, we'll just say it's CBD. So, no THC in this one. Wink, wink. Put some more of that in there. Nice to put cannabis. I think cannabis is a amazingly powerful healing herb, and I highly recommend it. It can be abused so readily, but then again, so is food in our society. So many people are addicted to and abusing food, sugar, all kinds of stuff. So everything is a medicine when used in the right way, or it can become a drug when it's abused. So that's my 5D tea for today. I hope you've enjoyed my video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. If you have any questions, give me a shout. All right, stay healthy, stay happy. Those two things are inextricable from one another. So get healthy and be happy. All right, y'all. Much love. Peace.